Well, welcome to the B3 Lockdown Club. We've spent a few weeks doing the straight back shots and really working on those and getting those nailed, getting those positions, strong bases. And we're going to move it on now. Obviously we want to look at being a little bit more aggressive, so we're going to talk about the short ball and how we deal with that. And today in particular we're going to look at the pull. Okay, now for me this shot, you know, if played well, is a shot where you just take it away from the bowler. But I always talk to it about being a fight you can win. So the surface has got to be in your favour. If it's up and down, then playing the pull shot, cross back shots are a little bit tricky. We're talking about a nice consistent bounce, probably not too quick when you first go in, you know, so you can just line it up and it's getting used to the pace. You don't go in from ball one and take it on. It's giving yourself time to adjust and get to the pace. But we'll get to that as we go down the line. Now, obviously we're doing this in parks and backyards, so we've got to have a way of doing that. So how are we going to do it? We're going to build it up through several phases, okay, different practices, using bins as we always do, using footballs as we always do, to give you guys the possibility of playing that shot aggressively, but focusing basically on that strong position and base as we've talked about with the front foot shots. So now we go on to the football. We managed to sneak it in again, Eddie. So what we're looking to do is exactly get yourself in that position you're going to be in when you're pulling. I'm going to serve the football in, similar sort of position, around about waist height. And then all Jim's going to do is to fire that hip and rotate that ball strongly into that wall there. Okay, so there you go, Jim. There we go. Really explode that back hip. Really drive that ball through the wall. Good lad. Okay, and what we noticed there, Jim caught the ball and then really engaged his rear hip to get the movement right, which is exactly what we want. We're not just catching it and throwing it. We want to drive that hip. Get the feeling of that power we're generating from that rear hip to get those hands going. Okay, so we're now going to move it on a stage. Okay, we've done the statics, we've really focused on our base and getting our hands going and rear hip. Now we're going to actually bring the ball in. Now, some of you youngsters are still developing that striking awareness, that striking phase. Okay, so all we're going to do is exactly the same, but rather than with a batting glove and hitting your dad's hand, we're going to underarm serve some tennis balls, could be any ball, and all we're going to do is just work with our hands, just driving our hands and slapping that tennis ball into the wall, which you could possibly do in your back garden depending on the size of your garden without damaging anything too much, because you haven't got that long lever with your bat and accelerating the ball as much. So here's Jim again. So again, that strong position. Okay, nice underarm serve, and you're going to get that right arm out and through. Good lad. Drive that hip. Okay, wasn't great contact, but obviously hands are not bats. So it is a bit of an unnatural motion, but again, it's just bringing in this as a stimulus, but then it's all about that hand, that hip, and driving that hip through. So that's if you've got a willing parent to throw you some tennis balls for a couple of hours in the back garden. But if you're on your own, there's no reason why you can't serve yourself. Okay, the key to this is, again, you're not rushing it, you're giving yourself enough height on the throw to be able to establish that strong base and then get your hands going. So Jim's going to demonstrate. Okay, so obviously some of you have sent some wonderful footage in of you practicing indoors. Now there's no reason we can't play the pull shot indoors, but of course we want to do that as safely as possible and we don't want too many vases knocking off. So we're going to go with just a rolled up pair of old cricket socks, which again, it develops that movement pattern, that hip drive, exactly what we'd like. So here we go.